David lived a quiet life in a small town. He worked at a local hardware store. Every day, he would wake up early, have a simple breakfast, and go to work. David was a good man, honest and kind. He did not have many friends, but he liked his peaceful routine. His life was simple but steady. One cool morning, David went to his favorite coffee shop. The shop was not big, but it was cozy and full of warm light. It was the kind of place where people knew each other. David liked to sit near the window and watch the world outside while drinking his coffee. He often read a newspaper or thought about small things in his life. That day, as David was sitting with his coffee, a woman walked into the shop. She was young and had a calm, confident way of walking. Her name was Lisa. She had soft, natural beauty that made people notice her, but she did not try to show off. Her skin had a rich, smooth tone, and her eyes showed strength and kindness. Lisa looked around the room and chose a seat near David's table. Lisa smiled gently at David, and he smiled back. Sometimes people meet for a short moment, and it feels like something special is happening. David felt this that day. Lisa started a conversation with him, asking about the coffee and the town. They talked for a while about simple things, the weather, the small events in the town, and their favorite places to eat. David felt comfortable with Lisa, like he could trust her. Lisa was not just a visitor. She had a secret. She worked for the FBI, but this was not a regular job for her. She was an undercover agent. Her mission was to watch a group of people suspected of crime. Lisa had to live a double life. One as a normal woman, and the other as an FBI agent working to keep the town safe. Because of her mission, Lisa had to be very careful. She could not tell David who she really was. She had to hide her real job and all the dangers that came with it. Lisa's life was full of secret meetings, hidden cameras, and long nights thinking about her work. But when she was with David, she tried to be just herself, calm, friendly, kind. Over the next few weeks, Lisa and David met many times. Sometimes they went for a walk in the park. Sometimes they sat in the coffee shop and talked about their dreams and hopes. David shared stories about his past, his family, and his simple life. Lisa listened carefully and told him about her love for books and traveling, but she never spoke about her real job. David started to feel happy again. He had been lonely before, but Lisa's company brought light into his quiet world. He liked her smile and the way she listened. He never thought that behind that smile was a secret mission. He never imagined that his peaceful life was about to change. Lisa's job made her careful about everything. She watched people around David too, making sure he was safe. But the group she was investigating was dangerous. They were involved in illegal activities, and Lisa had to find proof to help catch them. She used her time with David to learn about the town and the people, but she never wanted him to get hurt. One evening, after a long day, David and Lisa sat on a bench near the river. The sun was setting, and the sky was painted with colors of orange and pink. They talked quietly about their lives and the future. David felt at peace, but Lisa's mind was busy with her secret work. She wanted to protect David, but knew it might not be easy. As days passed, David and Lisa's friendship grew stronger. They shared small joys, like laughter over coffee and quiet moments watching the stars. David trusted Lisa more each day, feeling lucky to have met someone so kind. Lisa felt a soft sadness inside, knowing that one day she might have to tell him the truth. The story shows how two people from very different worlds met by chance. David's simple life and Lisa's hidden mission created a connection that was both beautiful and fragile. Neither of them knew how much their lives would change because of this meeting. For now, David only saw Lisa as a kind woman who brought warmth into his life. He did not know about the danger waiting in the shadows. And Lisa, though careful and strong, felt the weight of the secret she carried. It was a story of trust, friendship, and the hidden truths that can change everything. This was just the beginning. What would happen next? David's world was about to turn upside down, and the truth about Lisa would soon come to light. But for now, they enjoyed the quiet moments, unaware of the storm ahead. David and Lisa's friendship grew stronger each day. They spent more time together, sharing stories and enjoying simple moments. David found himself smiling more, feeling happier than he had in a long time. Lisa was careful but warm always, making sure David felt comfortable. They walked in the park, talked over coffee, and sometimes sat quietly watching the sunset. It seemed like two people from different worlds were slowly becoming close friends. Lisa's real life, however, was very different from the calm and peaceful time she spent with David. She was an undercover FBI agent with a serious and dangerous job. Her mission was to stop a group involved in illegal activities that were harming the town. Lisa had to watch and gather information without being noticed. This was not easy. She often met with her team in secret, shared important plans, and sometimes stayed awake late into the night to study the case. Despite the danger, Lisa tried to keep her feelings hidden. Being close to David made her feel more human and gave her a small hope for a normal life. But her secret work reminded her that things could go wrong any time. She had to protect David without telling him the truth. This made her feel lonely inside because she wanted to be honest with him but could not. David, meanwhile, was unaware of the risks around him. He only knew the kind woman who had become his friend. He admired Lisa's strength and kindness. He told her about his dreams, his past, and his hopes for the future. Lisa listened quietly, sometimes smiling, sometimes thoughtful. She was careful to answer in ways that did not reveal her secret life. She wanted David to feel safe and happy. One afternoon, Lisa invited David to a small cafe outside town. The place was quiet and peaceful. They sat by the window, watching the world go by. They talked about books and movies, their favorite songs, and places they wished to visit someday. David felt a connection that he had never felt before. Lisa felt the same, but the weight of her mission made her cautious in the days that followed. Lisa kept an eye on the people David met. She was worried that he might get too close to dangerous people without knowing it. The group she was investigating was smart and careful. They would not hesitate to hurt anyone who got in their way. Lisa felt the pressure to finish her mission quickly and protect David. One evening, David and Lisa walked along a quiet street under the soft glow of streetlights. They talked about simple things, family, friends, and the little surprises life brings. David shared stories about his childhood, his hopes to travel, and his favorite memories. Lisa smiled, feeling warmth in her heart. But she also knew that her world and David's world were very different. Lisa's team was working hard to gather evidence. They used cameras, tracked phone calls, and listened carefully to conversations. Lisa had to report everything she learned, even if it meant risking her own safety. Sometimes she felt tired and scared, but she never showed it to David. To him, she was always strong and confident. David, on his side, started to notice some strange things. Sometimes he saw unfamiliar cars near his house. Sometimes people seemed to watch him quietly from a distance. He felt uneasy, but did not know why. He told Lisa about his feelings, and she reassured him with a gentle smile. She told him it was probably nothing to worry about. But inside, Lisa knew it was not so simple. The danger was coming closer. The people Lisa was investigating had started to pay attention to David. They thought he might know more than he did. They wanted to find out what Lisa was doing. David did not understand this yet. But Lisa felt the tension growing every day. One night, Lisa stayed late at the FBI office. She looked at the papers and photos on the table. Her team had found important information. They planned to act soon to stop the criminals. Lisa thought about David and hoped he would be safe. She wished she could tell him everything, but she could not. Back at his home, David tried to sleep, but kept thinking about the strange things happening around him. He wondered if his new friendship was safe or if trouble was near. He did not want to lose the happiness he found with Lisa, but the quiet town he loved was changing. And David's simple life was about to face challenges he never imagined. Lisa knew that soon her two worlds would collide. The friendship with David was special, but the mission was more important. She hoped that when the truth came out, David would understand and stay safe. Until then, she promised herself to protect him in every way she could. The story shows how trust and friendship can grow even in the middle of danger. David and Lisa's bond was real, but secrets and risks were closing in. Both had to be brave in their own way, Lisa to finish her mission and David to face the unknown. This part of their story ends with quiet hope and hidden worry. David and Lisa were still friends, but the shadows around them were growing. What happened next? Only time would tell. But for now, they kept walking side by side, sharing moments before the storm. David's life was changing in ways he could never have imagined. One evening, as he was cleaning his small apartment, he found something strange hidden inside an old book Lisa had given him. It was a small USB drive with files on it, files about the very people Lisa had been quietly investigating. David felt a wave of confusion and fear. He had no idea what to do with it. He wanted to ask Lisa about it, but felt unsure if he could trust her now. The secret she had kept from him made him feel hurt. Why hadn't she told him the truth? Was their friendship real? Questions filled his mind, and his heart was heavy. David decided to meet Lisa the next day. He wanted answers. When he saw her, his eyes showed worry and pain. "Lisa, what is this?" he asked, holding out the USB drive. Lisa's face changed for a moment, her calm smile fading. She realized the secret was out. There was no way to hide it anymore. Lisa took a deep breath and sat beside David. She looked into his eyes and spoke with honesty. "David, I need to tell you the truth. I am an FBI agent. I've been working undercover to stop a dangerous group that is hurting people in this town." She explained her mission carefully, telling him why she couldn't tell him earlier. "I didn't want to put you in danger," she said softly. David felt a mix of emotions. He was angry, hurt, and scared. But he also understood why Lisa had kept the secret. He realized that their friendship was not a lie, but part of a much bigger story. The life he thought was simple was now complicated and risky. After the conversation, David felt the weight of the truth. He knew his life might never be the same. The criminals Lisa was after might see him as a threat or a target. Fear started to grow inside him. But at the same time, he felt a strange strength. He wanted to help Lisa and do what was right. Days passed, and David noticed strange things more often. Unknown faces appeared near his workplace. Phones would ring, but when he answered, no one spoke. It was clear someone was watching him. Lisa warned him to be careful. She told him not to trust anyone too easily and to always be aware of his surroundings. David's world was no longer peaceful. Danger was real, and it was close. He struggled with fear, but tried not to show it. He wanted to be strong for Lisa and for himself. Lisa gave him tips on how to stay safe and promised to protect him as much as she could. The tension between them grew as the mission moved forward. Lisa and her team worked day and night to gather enough proof to stop the criminals. David helped. By sharing what he knew and being cautious in his daily life, though scared, he felt proud to be part of something important. One night, David received a warning. Someone left a note on his car. It said simply, "Stop helping or you will regret it." His heart pounded. He knew the criminals were serious. This was no longer just about Lisa's mission. Now, David's life was in danger too. Lisa hurried to David's side. She arranged for extra protection and told him to stay close. The FBI team increased their efforts. They planned a big operation to catch the criminals once and for all. David was scared but ready to face whatever came next. Despite the fear, David and Lisa found moments of calm. They talked about their hopes for the future, about peace and happiness beyond the danger. These moments gave them strength to keep going. They were no longer just friends. They had become partners in a fight for justice. The story in this part shows how truth can shake a life, but also how courage and trust can grow, even in the hardest times. David learned the price of trust and the power of standing with someone you care about. Even when the world feels uncertain, as the part ends, the danger is near. The mission is almost complete, but the cost is high. David and Lisa must face the risks together, hoping that their bravery will bring a new beginning. David's life became tense and full of fear. Every day felt like a challenge. He could sense eyes watching him wherever he went. Simple tasks, like going to the grocery store or walking his dog, no longer felt safe. Every sound made him jump. Every shadow seemed to hide danger. The warning note on his car was a clear sign that the criminals were serious. He knew they wanted to stop him from helping Lisa and the FBI. Lisa was always by his side, giving him comfort and strength. She arranged for him to be watched by agents when he was outside. But even then, David felt the weight of the danger pressing down on him. He missed his old peaceful life, but he understood the importance of what he was doing. He had become part of something bigger than himself. The FBI team planned carefully. They knew the criminals were smart and cautious. Every step had to be precise to avoid putting David or Lisa in more danger. The team worked late into the night, sharing information and making decisions that could change many lives. David wanted to help in any way he could. He gave Lisa information about the people he met, anything that seemed suspicious. Sometimes he felt scared, but he reminded himself that this was the right thing to do. His fear did not disappear, but he learned to live with it, focusing on the goal of justice. One evening, David was sitting at home when he heard a noise outside. His heart raced. He looked through the window and saw two men standing near his door. They looked dangerous. David's mind raced, but he stayed calm. He called Lisa quietly and told her what he saw. Lisa told him to stay inside and wait for the FBI team to arrive. She reassured him that help was coming fast. Within minutes, agents appeared around the house. The men saw the agents and quickly left. David felt relief, but knew this was only the beginning. The tension grew. David's safety was now a top priority for the FBI. Lisa felt responsible for him and worked harder to protect him. At the same time, she had to keep her focus on the larger mission. The criminals were close to being caught, but they could still fight back. David and Lisa spent quiet moments together when they could. They talked about the future, a future where the danger was gone and life could be simple again. These talks gave David hope. He dreamed of a day when he could walk freely without fear. The day of the operation came. The FBI moved quickly and carefully. They arrested several people involved in the criminal group. David watched from a safe distance as the police took the criminals away. It was a moment of victory, but also one of mixed feelings. He knew that his life would never be the same after the arrests. David was offered protection and a chance to start fresh in a new place. He chose to leave the town he loved to stay safe. Lisa stayed behind to continue her work, but promised to keep in touch. They both knew that their connection was strong. Even if life was pulling them apart, David's story shows how courage and trust can help. People face even the hardest challenges. He faced fear and danger, but he did not give up. With Lisa's support, he found strength inside himself. Together, they brought justice and hope to their town. This part ends with change and new beginnings. David moves on, carrying lessons of bravery and friendship. Lisa continues her mission, knowing that sometimes being a hero means making hard choices. Their story is a reminder that even in darkness, light can be found. David moved to a new town far away from the life he once knew. It was a fresh start, but also a quiet one. He missed the familiar streets, the small coffee shop, and most of all, Lisa. Even though he was safe, his heart carried memories of everything he had been through. The calm life he had dreamed about now felt different. It was mixed with the knowledge of danger and courage. In his new home, David took small steps to rebuild his life. He'd found a new job at a bookstore, a place filled with stories and quiet comfort. The people there were kind, and David slowly made new friends. But still, there were moments when he felt alone. Thinking about the past and the woman who had changed his life forever, Lisa continued her work as an FBI agent in their old town. The mission she had worked on was a success, but it was not the end of her journey. There were always new cases, new people to protect, and new challenges to face. Lisa often thought about David and hoped he was safe and happy. She missed their talks and the simple moments they shared. They kept in touch through letters and occasional phone calls. The distance was hard, but their connection remained strong. They shared stories about their new lives and dreams for the future. David told Lisa about the bookstore, the new friends he had made, and how he was learning to find peace. Lisa shared her hopes for a time when she could live without secrets and danger. David learned to live with the changes. He understood that life could be unpredictable, and that courage was sometimes found in quiet moments. He was proud of himself for standing strong during the hardest times and for helping to bring justice to his town. His experience taught him about trust, bravery, and the power of friendship. Lisa, too, grew from the experience. She realized that behind every mission, there are real people whose lives are touched. Her work was important. So was the kindness and connection she found with David. She hoped one day they could meet again without fear. In a world where they could simply be friends or more, the story ends with a feeling of hope and new beginnings. David and Lisa had faced danger and secrets, but they also found strength and care in each other. Their lives were forever changed. But so was their understanding of trust and courage. This is a story about unexpected friendship, bravery, and the quiet power of being there for someone in times of need. Even when life changes suddenly and fear comes close, people can find light and connection and hope for the future.